So this was supposed to be a video about the Battle of Cuddalore, but it's 40 degrees and my air conditioner doesn't reach my bedroom, which is where I record, write, and edit, and I don't want to sit in that because my 4080 makes the thing about 1 billion times hotter than it needs to be. Get my fat ass on video wearing the correct jersey, and today we're going to make hardtack as part of the Aubrey Maturin Lobscouse and Spotted Dog compendium for the novels. Hardtack's really, really simple. You prepare an oven, you put it on bake, and you put it to 200 or so degrees in real people mixing language, real people heating. Yeah, so you can tell this is not scripted. Now, it's quite simple. Flour and water. Now, I don't have measuring cups and I can't bake, so this could get interesting. But it's 4 parts flour to 1 part water, or 1.5 parts water. You can vary it depending on how much you hate yourself or how much you hate the people you're serving this to. So we're going to give 200 grams because mils and grams translate to each other because, again, metric is great. All right. So your real YouTuber, like Tasting History, would have pre-measured this. All right, so 200 mils of water. Of flour. That's not water, that's flour. And to give it some flavor, because, you know, we're not horrible, we salt it. Like we salt absolutely everything. Yes, lots of salt. Now, the reason you use lots of salt is, well, you could put something in there. Like, it's horrible. You got to put something in there. 75 ml of water will do it. But before you do that, you want to mix in the salt and the flour together. Just mix it. Get your fingers dirty. Mix it all up, because the reality is the salt is going to be the one saving grace that makes this, I don't want to say bearable, but, you know, less torturous. That's around the right amount. Pour it in. Simple as that. Put the cup down and mix. And this is going to get very dirty very quickly. And you're going to think you don't have enough water at all. You're going to think there's nowhere near enough water, but I promise you there is. And you just have to keep going.
2,000 years later.
There's really 2 types of hardtack. You've got hardtack, which is, well, obvious, and then you've got soft tack. And I believe, Kat, can you stop, please? Thank you. I believe that the novel 100 Days probably has the best explanation, or perhaps it's one of the ones before that, where Jack and Stephen are sitting there and talking, and they have a soft tack because they're close to port with breakfast. So soft tack is basically hardtack that's not cooked to within an inch of its life, and you get the chance, you see it's sort of come together in a blob now, and you get the chance to actually enjoy it because, you know, it's kind of a soft, doughy biscuit. And you dip it in soups, or you dip it in lobscouse, or any kind of other things like that. Or you just eat it as a snack. Or have it with toasted cheese, which, if you've read any of the novels or looked up The Age of Salador, you'll know is quite good. Now we're just going to put down some flour because there's always more flour in this recipe. And we have to then get this into something resembling a bit of flat things. Now I'm just going to wash my hands. We'll cut away. So that is kind of sitting there. It's a horrible blob right now. And I've just come to the realization I don't have a rolling pin. So we're going to look around. Rolling pins. Now that won't work. That could work. All right, gag's over. When in doubt, red wine. Yeah, it tastes like a good rolling pin. There we go, that's kind of the right consistency. To the point where it's flat. Now, how flat, you may ask? Well, every recipe says about 1/2 inch, but basically with your thumb, that'll do. Now, we'll get this out of the way and put it here. Do not wash flour down the sink, or your mother and or wife will kill you. And basically just spreading it out. on the pan. Now, I'm not making a lot because, to be completely honest, who's going to eat the hardtack in this house? Genuinely, who's going to eat it other than me? So I'm going to cut it into a couple pieces though, because, well, to be completely honest, I want to make both hardtack and soft tack. I'm just going to, mold it around a bit until we can get like a various round sort of shape, because to me the ultimate chips biscuit is a circle. It's the sort of generic sort of color, shape. Can you tell this is not scripted? Right, squish it out, and again, about a finger's width is fine. See, the thing is, chips biscuits often weren't perfect, they often didn't look great. And to be honest, hardtack and soft tack, so we're going to have soft tack on the left, hardtack on the right, they never look particularly appetizing. Fork. Because, when making hardtack, one of the most important things you have to do is you have to prick it. Mind out of the gutter. You have to prick it so that the air escaping for its life from the soggy biscuit of death has a way to escape. And bing, bang, bong, that is all done. So we have hardtack on my left, or your right, I believe the recording will pick up, and then soft tack will be this side. I'm going to put in the oven now, and I will be back in 2 hours, both to stir my dinner, which is slow cooking next to me, and to get the soft tack out. This is the bit that I didn't warn you about when doing cooking videos. There's a lot of just waiting. Oh, I shouldn't have had wine and then coffee. That was not worth it for the gag. Right, so it's been about an hour and 15 minutes or so. Let's see how they're going. We have soft tack. I'm just going to fix the camera. So we've got the fun things here. So cut that out. So we've got 2 biscuits. Now, that's hot. The fun thing about these biscuits is technically, you can hear them. The air conditioner's on because it's bloody hot. Technically, this could be argued as done, but it's not. I'm going to stop touching that. Because to make proper hardtack, because this is still soft in the center, I have to put it back in the oven for another hour. Now, because it's just the one biscuit and it's a little thin in the center, I'm going to give it like 30 minutes, but you'll get the gist. Back in the oven at 200 degrees Celsius, 73 washing machines Fahrenheit, I don't know for the others. But right here, we have soft tack, which is kind of a lie because soft tack is still quite hard, unless you make it really soft, in which case you'd have to make it pretty quick and then eat it pretty quick as well. Killick does do that a few times in the books, and there are anecdotal accounts in the series and from, real life of people who do eat soft tack normally. And when they eat it normally, they eat it pretty quickly. However, we're going to go with a classic here. So we've got 100% Australian bush honey, and we have a bit of biscuit. And it's warm biscuit that's just been cooked. So, for example, there were, historically speaking, explorers such as Burke and such who would go throughout the centre of Australia and explore and everything, and they would... Oh, yeah, there we go. And they would carry with them hardtack. And it's not inconceivable. There we go, nice and soft in the centre. It's not inconceivable, and you can tell it's hardtack because do you really think I could cut... you can tell it's soft tack because do you really think I could cut hardtack with a knife? And it's not inconceivable that they would have sat down one day to a bit of honey mixed with their soft biscuit. Especially considering Australian native honey is absolutely stunning. So let's give it a go. Now, that salt is doing a lot of heavy lifting. I've had hardtack before. Actually, that's cooked perfectly. I'll probably give that an extra the full hour. But sorry, I'm still chewing. I've had hardtack before. It tastes like crap. Soft tack, which is what this is, it's not bad at all. Especially when you have it with, you know, a bit of honey. And one of the cool things about this is, come on. I'm gonna get a zoom in on it. Yes. The lighting is terrible in this kitchen. Yes. You can sort of, there we go, you can sort of see it. But it's not cooked all the way through. It is still, at its core, dough in the center, but it's very warmed up. So you can eat it by just breaking it. And it's like almost a bready cracker. The salt gives it a fine taste. And this would be really enjoyable with some cheese. I can do that. Anyway, so let's fold this up. I'm not going to warm it up because that will take time, but cheese and soft tack is a very common combination that you see in the Age of Sail in the Captain's Cabin. Bread cheese. It's delicious. It's not going to win a Michelin star, but if you're on deck and say there's been a storm going on, a bit of cheese, bit of soft tack, what can go wrong? My teeth are already starting to hurt though from the edges because they're a bit crispy, but the center is delicious. You get the idea. This is just a standard snack, afternoon tea, dinner. Hell, at action stations, this could be something that a ship's cook could very much give to the officers or the young crews. A bit of soft tack. Crews most likely wouldn't get cheese because cheese can be a little harder to come by. But if there is a lot of cheese on board, say, for, you know, they've taken a French fries or something, if the crew is at action stations for an extended period of time, they may get a bit of soft tack, a bit of cheese, and hey presto, you've got something warm in your belly, or if it's cold, you've got something substantial in your belly, and this will keep you going quite well. If you're an explorer in the Australian bush, and you're starving, you go up to the native honey beehives, bit of honey on a bit of soft tack. Bob's your uncle. You're fed, you're no longer starving. And it's a bit sweet. It's simple, it's versatile, and it works. But what happens if you're stuck in a ship's boat for, well, a period of time longer than you want to be in one in the elements? Come back in 1 hour and I'll show you. It's not pretty. So following the soup interlude and following having soft tack, which, you know, the officers or crews would have enjoyed, it's time for the main event. And so I don't burn myself this time, I thought ahead. It's still really hot though. Oh my god, get the oven. Oh, okay. So, it's a bit crispy, but here's some proper hardtack. It's just a type of flour that I use that makes it look black. And the lighting, it's actually a nice brown sort of colour. There we go. You can sort of see it. Yes. This is proper hardtack. So, while we have the enjoyable ship's biscuit here that we spoke about, that you can just sort of, come on. It's quite a smaller piece now because I was stacking on it. There you go. Sort of snap and chew and pull. Just going to eat it, but that'll crunch on the thing. There's the demon biscuit. Now, the demon biscuit has a lot of uses. And if you can hear clicking, sorry, the slow cooker has been going this entire video because it's got my dinner in it and I'm not turning it off. No, it's not an American crockpot recipe. It's a beef bourguignon. It does not have an entire block of cream cheese in it. So the point of these biscuits, it's mostly cooled down now, the brick is cooled down, is that it exists for emergencies. Or you just, you know, eat it normally after soaking it for about 12 hours, and then you put it in a bagoo. You can eat hardtack basically at any time. The whole point of it is that it's always there for the crew if they need it. It's a snack. It's there. One of the big things it has, though, is a position in a lifeboat. So, for example, there's the whaler, the Essex, the inspiration for Herman Melville's Moby Dick. Now, in that, the sailors would get a quarter piece of hardtack after some time in the boats, after the whale had sunk the ship, a quarter piece of hardtack, and basically 2 mouthfuls of water per day, in some senses. Now, this is displayed really, really well in the book Fortune of War. It's one of the Patrick O'Brian novels. It is the 5th book, I want to say, in the Aubrey Maturin series. Let me guess. Master and Commander, Post Captain, Surprise, Desolation Island. Yes, 5th book. Jack and Stephen are on the way back to the UK from Indonesia after the miserable old leopard, which Rex will do a video on shortly, was, leoparding, and the packet ship they were on caught fire, sank, and they were in the boats for a few days. They were sunburnt to a crisp, they were miserable, and all they had was a quarter piece of hardtack and a mouthful of water, because it was in an emergency kit. Now, the thing about hardtack as well, like proper hardtack, not that soft tack weak stuff, is that this stuff, genuinely, would be near impossible to eat after that period of time. And the worst part is, it would sit in the barrels for so long that weevils would get into it, and when you ate them, it would taste like mustard usually when they popped between your teeth. I'm realizing now, if you're eating, you may not like me saying that, but for argument's sake, I got mustard. Now, I got Dijon mustard because I'm just going to say it's a French weevil, but we're going to give it the proper go. Now, remember how I cut the last one with a knife? Does not even dent it. So, correct tools have been sought, along with the correct safety features. We will cut up the hardtack correctly. Observe. Oh dear. So, that has been done correctly. And now we have very brown biscuit. And for argument's sake, to make it correct, I've got a Scotch glass. And we're going to get the correct amount of water. So, this is your ration for an entire day. It's definitely not the most tasty thing. Alright, let's get it on that. Oh yeah. Weirdly enough. Oh, that's disgusting. Ow. Oh, my tooth. Oh. Right. Oh, geez, my tooth. Now, for the record, I chewed into a bit that was a bit thinner, and my teeth hurt. In a way, why did you get the head past the fact that what the mustard flavour is meant to be coming from? The mustard makes it a lot better. So I suppose choosing the lesser of two weevils in this sense wouldn't really make sense. You want the bigger weevil for the most flavour. In my teeth, and it feels stuck. After getting the water for the next part, I have one thing left to do. Straight in the rubbish bin. That's it. That's all they got in those boats. But in the Fortune of War, when that scene happens, and it lasts for about half a chapter, it's probably the best recounting of what it was like to be stuck in a longboat at sea that I've ever seen. So yes, Hardtack is miserable. It's not fun. And it's why that later on in history, you would see things get added to it. So, for example, there was experiments in the First World War where diggers in Anzac Cove would put sugar with it. They would add in other things. They'd try and mix it with oats in a very crude, rudimentary sort of form of Anzac biscuit. You try and mix it with brown sugars, treacle, syrups, you name it. Just anything you can get into it to get it some flavour. And, they would also, put it in their bully beef for, hours to make the beef break down just to give it some kind of flavour. But it's not a fun experience. The soft tack, though, with the salt, that's fine. You could eat that as a snack. Hell, I would eat it as a snack. It tastes no different than an oat cracker for the Scots out there, just a bit harder. Or really just as a really thick Jats cracker. Just more bready, obviously, because it's flour. But to finish this video, I figure one of the best ways to finish it would be with ship's grog. And this is Puss's rum, genuine Royal Navy rum. To make grog, very, very simple. Lemon-flavoured water, Royal Navy rum. We'll just put a nibble in there because, it's the middle of the day and I have stuff to do. Pour in the lemon and the water. And sure enough, it's probably a bit too much water, you've got your ship's grog. Now, you could be lemon, it could be lime, oranges. It's basically you just need a citrus. You need a citrus properly. Lime is ideal, and lime is the most traditional, but it is not uncommon during this period if you can't get limes, for example, just to stick lemon in there, or an orange, or any kind of citrus to get vitamin C into the sailors, they would do. So, wash down our soft tack with a bit of grog. It's actually really refreshing. Genuinely, it's quite refreshing. The salt actually goes together really nicely. But yes, if you're interested at all in doing more things from the Age of Sail, cooking-wise, I'm happy to go through it. I'm not the best at baking, but, with cooking normal things, I can do that. I will get some help for certain recipes, though. But there are recipes such as, drowned baby, which don't Google it. Do not Google it. I do want to try it. It's basically a figgy pudding that's drowned in so much brandy you could set the thing on fire. And it tastes amazing, apparently. I'm not going to do soused hog's face because really I don't know how I would explain to people, hi, I need a giant pig's head to souse on my tiny stovetop, which now has my soup on it. But, things like burgoo and other stuff, learning to live in this period of history. If you want to know what it was like to live and to eat, because, we're humans, we exist on our stomachs. As you can see, mine's got a decent amount of existence in it. Let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, and if you want Rex and I to do these videos together, let me know as well, because I'm sure we could organise it somehow.